And with that, let's start the show with Hot Topics. We have a new NBA champion.
That too.
You didn't have it on the paper.
See?
The moment you went off book.
It was a disaster. KD. I mean, the man finally got what he wanted. You know, his plan worked. I think Game 5 went how most people thought Game 4 was going to go.
Right.
You know, so where does Golden State go from here, and then where does Cleveland go from here?
I think it's
Golden State keep
Golden
going.
State. The Jeffersons theme song is playing in Oakland right now.
Yeah.
Moving on up.
I think they just roll the ball out in October and say, okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
They might not even go to training camp.
nothing to see here.
Yeah, they're in a good situation. I think a storm is brewing in Cleveland. I want you guys to remember when Tristan Thompson got his deal. All right, it took all the way till they got into training camp, and then he ended up getting $80 million.
Mr. Mouth to Mouth.
Last year, going into training camp, it was J.R. Smith, and then he had to get his deal. Okay, David Griffin, the GM, still can't get a contract done. I think one of two things is about to happen here. Number one, Dan Gilbert is going to go to LeBron. He's going to say, listen, everything from the coach, and I'm not even going to pay the GM because I'm going to tell the GM I don't have no money because they have been luxury tax offenders. Repeat luxury tax offenders since LeBron has been back.
The line is $121 million.
Which this is what, year 4?
This is year 4 of them going over. Dan Gilbert's going to go to LeBron. He's going to say, listen, everything from the coach, and you can hire whoever the next GM is. This is what the budget is for it. Find a GM for that. But everything from the coach on down has been here for you. We did this. We made these moves under the pretense that we were going to be repeat champions, and that hasn't happened. Don't ask me to bring anyone else in. You got to work with what you got. That's option number 1, okay? Or option number 2 is, and I want you to listen to this, Dan Gilbert is going to sell the team. They won a title. Their value now is going up 5-6-fold. You sell the team while the product is high, and you leave LeBron James to deal with the fallout and the mess. The point is, no help is coming, and Dan Gilbert has been really silent. And the fact that those contract extensions for Thompson and Smith, they went as long as they did, tells you what the organization's position was. They didn't want to do this deal. On top of the fact that when LeBron came back, if the guy that he got rid of is the guy that he needs right now, and that's Andrew Wiggins. And he got rid of him to bring in Kevin Love. They got all these max deals floating around, even for players that aren't max players. There's no more money to spend. There is a storm coming. Mark my words. There's a storm coming to Ohio this offseason.
I don't know if it's that type of storm, but I can tell you one thing. I don't think it is looking good for them. I mean, they've done everything, like you said, they've done everything LeBron had asked for. They had the highest payroll in the league. And, you know, when the pieces that you say that you need to come in and win don't perform, i.e. Kevin Love, who, in my opinion, if y'all going to play him like that, then please trade him, because there's no way in the world Kevin Love should have been reduced to being a three-point shooter. I think, like you said, everyone is on the chopping block except for LeBron, but I think it makes it harder for most people to want to come to Cleveland not knowing if he's going to stay, because it seems like every time Cleveland losing the playoffs, this guy's 1 foot out the door.
And I don't think people talk about that enough either, besides the fact that it's in Cleveland. Nobody wants to come to Cleveland as a free agent. But the fact that LeBron has a history of leaving, and people don't believe he's going to stay.
When you talk about trading pieces, though, the other thing to remember, guys, is that because they are over the luxury tax, the players that they get back, it's not like, okay, if we're whatever $50 million over, we can trade the pieces and still be $50 million over. When you trade, you got to trade, and those players that you get back have to keep you at the salary cap. You cannot then go over the luxury tax. So, you know, all of this talk about trading for players, it's not going to be as easy as they make it seem. And they have no first-round picks to give for the next 50 years because of all of the machinations, again, that had to happen to get the team that LeBron is dealing with right now at this very present moment.
One of the craziest things about the salary cap in Cleveland in particular is the way the contracts are set up. If they released all their pending free agents this year, their salary cap remains the same. I mean, the amount they pay out, $123 million, $125 million, if they don't sign back any of their free agents.
Well, 125 is just in 8 players.
Yeah.
So that's not even the full roster. So, and they're already 100.
In order for them, what it makes it seem like, in order for them to actually do something, they would have to trade, like, say, Kevin Love for a younger, cheaper player who's
You're
on the
not going to
rise.
get value back.
Yeah,
You're not going to get the value
Do you
back.
He's
think
not gonna get
Question: do you think Thibodeau would trade him back?
Hell no.
For what?
'Cause I don't think he like Wade.
No, he wouldn't trade him back. Nah.
Nah.
But they have to figure out something. I mean,
Hey, Dev, look at me like, hey, man.
That might have been the realest answer today.
no, real.
They gotta do something, dog.
Hey, July 1st, 2018, LeBron going away party.
Well, I was going to get to that. What were you saying, Kev?
I'm gonna ask, what do you guys think? Well, who do you guys think does LeBron need to at least get back to the finals or in some way take a series with Golden State past 6-7 games? Because they've added the ball dominant point guard, the scoring point guard. That doesn't work. He doesn't play both sides of the ball. They've added Kevin Love. Like I said, he's been reduced to a jump shooter, a la Chris Bosh in Miami. Tristan isn't that post presence. So, I mean,
He don't have hands.
what more does he need?
They need Brad Stevens and Kevin Durant.
Yeah, they need a coach. They need a coach. No. They need a coach that can coach them up defensively.
He's never been able to gel with any sort of coach. He's a coach killer. He
I'm
has
just
been throughout his
what
career.
I'm saying is it was one of my confirmation bias is this comes down to defense. It comes down to, and it's funny because they talk about they need two-way players. When did playing offense and defense become a specialty,
yeah.
an optional?
Yeah.
We need
Analytics.
a two-way player. Like basketball is offense and it's defense,
It's
so that's not a
analytics.
specialty. They need to play defense. That's what every team needs to do. This is not going to be about the answer is not in personnel. It's in playing defense.
Well, and another, what is sometimes it is part personnel because LeBron and Kevin Love don't fit together. It'd be different if to me LeBron played in the post, but he don't. 'Cause
When
he's
you
horrible
when
in
you
the
say
post.
when you say that they don't fit together, I mean, how many points did they average in this series? How many points they scored last night?
But between the two of them,
120?
100
team or
100. No, the team. Exactly, the team.
120, 119, 120.
which goes to your point of defense.
Every night.
yeah, but a lot of those were empty buckets. He drove to the hoop 10 times in a row and made 8 of those in the last when the game was over.
Whether it's beautiful or whether it's ugly, the fact of the matter is that they score points. It's not about what they're doing offensively; it's what they're not doing defensively. And it's not just them; it's the entire league.
NBA.
It's the entire league. But I mean, since we all know that they got to do something, is trading Kyrie out of the question?
But what do you get back? That's the problem. Whatever you get back, that's
The
not
math
be an
the
answer.
math is not going to work
Yeah.
up. You're losing that deal.
Yeah.
You're going to lose that deal. And honestly, I mean, if Dan Gilbert is interested in keeping the team, and this is not on any intel or anything like that, but I mean, just you think about it from a business standpoint, their value is as high as it's going to be. But if he's thinking about keeping the team, you're not going to trade your youngest, most valuable asset.
But
The
here's
only dog you
he
have on
can't
the
sell
team?
the team though because anybody who's a prospective buyer is going to want to talk to LeBron before they buy and get something from him saying
because he's only
gonna,
under contract one more year.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
so
it's not my as a owner, that wouldn't, if I was Dan Gilbert, that wouldn't be my concern.
I'm
That'd
talking
be
about the buyer's concern.
Oh well, figure it out.
I definitely think they have to keep Kyrie, but I think he has to dedicate himself to changing his game. He can't just be one-dimensional, I get buckets and then give them up on the other end. And if you ask me personally, I blame Red O. He's too much of an influence in his son's life.
Are you saying Redo gives it up, Kev? Is that what you said?
I was at least gonna go with get buckets.
Maybe we should.
All right,
go to something.
Maybe we should go to something French.
Oui. Moving on.
I don't think that actually helps your case, though.
It didn't, but I'm gonna let him ride with that one. He deserves a victory with that hairline.
Oh,
So Sunday we had unseeded 20-year-old Jelena Ostapenko?
Come on.
Did I say that right?
Ooh.
Struggle life.
Ostapenko.
Ostapenko.
Not constipation.
Had a stunning upset victory over the number 3 seed Simona Halep.
Yep.
Okay. The first time since 1933 that an unseeded player beat a seeded player in French Open. Also, first time in 40 years that someone won a Grand Slam event as her first tour victory.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Impressive.
So I said a few weeks ago in my confirmation or in my Black and Blue segment, where is the French Open wide open, and for the women, and apparently it definitely
It was wide open.
Wide open.
7 of the top 10 seeds lost. Lost early, didn't make it to the quarterfinals,
Yeah.
and the number 1 seed lost in round 1.
I don't know if you guys actually saw that match, but, for all of those stats that you put out there, Omar, she didn't play like any of that. Meaning she, there wasn't, sometimes in tennis, when someone that's never won before is on the verge of winning, you can see the weight on every shot, every serve. This girl was going for it.
Well, she
Like
lost
she
the
didn't
first
know.
set. She lost the
Yes,
first set.
Yeah.
I rewind the game and made my son watch it because I had to show him what never giving up meant.
Yes.
She was down. She lost the first set.
lost the
6-4.
first set.
She was down 0-3 in the second set.
Yep.
And her mindset was grip it and rip it.
Grip
the
it and grip.
whole
Yes,
time.
that's exactly what it looked like. She
No
was
fear.
going for her shots. She was going for her shots. Yeah, I mean that was impressive and very entertaining to see.